An improvised true crime podcast.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Cole.
I'm Jeffrey.
We aren't the hosts, but they'll be out in a second. We're just here to get the suggestions real quick. Can anyone give me a year of any time in history?
1942.
What was that? 1935. Thank you.
1935, okay.
35. Can someone give me an occupation?
Unemployed. Submarine driver.
Flight attendant. And an object smaller than a trash dumpster. An apple. Thank you.
Okay,
So
1935.
a flight attendant and an apple, and there's going to be an improvised true crime podcast after the theme song plays. Passed away.
Different theme song.
Oh my goodness.
One second.
I'm sorry.
Hey, cool. He's finding the theme song, and while that's happening, I want to tell you as much about this book I'm reading called Bad Blood right now as I can. Oh, it's blank.
Welcome to a podcast. A podcast where things aren't always what they seem. Featuring people. People who aren't always what they seem. Intrigued, terrified, good. Because this is Passed Away.
Hello.
Hi.
My name is Cole Triplett. No relation.
My name is Jeffrey Anderson, some relation.
Welcome to Passed Away, the podcast. We are a true crime mystery podcast. Would you say that's our genre of choice, Jeffrey?
I would say that is accurate.
I already feel the energy in the room. First of all, as we do every week, we have a chair for the guests that will be coming through and talking to us, and we also have a chair for the person that has passed away.
The chair will remain empty for the duration of the podcast.
Because that is where the deceased would be if they were, helping us solve another true crime podcast. Awesome. Our story this week lays heavy on our hearts because it has gone, it's 2018 minus 1935, Jeffrey?
Plenty.
It's gone a plenty amount of time and has yet to be solved.
Yeah, it's a big case. Of course, we weren't alive at the time.
Oh, if we could be.
No, if we could have
We
been.
could have known this was going to happen and stopped it, hadn't we?
Yeah, we could have stopped it, although would have been difficult. Would have been difficult.
Would have been hard.
It was a very specific murder.
Murder on a plane. Let's just say it out loud.
Say it out loud. Murder on a plane. Yeah. As was, common at the time in 1930.
But let me say this, not in America.
No, not in America. Although in Europe.
In Europe, it was far too common.
Far too common. It was kind of enough of a thing that instead of on the news at the time, on the radio, because I don't think television was far enough along at the time, but they would just kind of read the names of the people that were murdered, and they wouldn't even say what they were talking about, and everyone knew what they were talking about. That's how common murders on planes were.
They just take 30 minutes at the beginning of their broadcast to read that long list of names. This is a fact, ladies and gentlemen. But we'd like to focus now on the date of August 14th, 1935. My father's birthday, but that's of no importance.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything to these days.
Unless it does, but it probably doesn't.
Probably not. Yeah, I'm gonna explain it. Mike, that's cool. It was, as we've said, it was a murder.
Mm-hmm.
It was a woman, she was a flight attendant, And at the time, it was a lot more, flying was a lot fancier, as you may know from television and movies. People could smoke on planes like fancy monsters, and often it was so difficult to see in the plane that the pilots would just land wherever they could, and that's where you would get out.
You would feel your way out of the plane.
It was a thick cloud.
But Betsy Lundgren, flight attendant, was used to this sort of thing.
Betsy Lundgren of old London town.
She used to wear a big old flashlight strapped to her head so she could see through the smoke. About yay big, wouldn't you say, Jeffrey?
Yeah, this is an audio
This is an
podcast.
audio-only podcast.
So imagine the size of like a cookie.
A cookie, an average-sized cookie wrapped around your forehead,
That
and
was
light emitting.
So this woman, Betsy,
Yes.
Betsy Lundgren,
Mhm.
she was going above and beyond for her job, and that's why it's so unfortunate that in the middle of the cloud she tripped. She tripped and fell.
Well, that's what it says on the report.
We would like to think that it was an accident, but we know better. Apples don't just find their way into the eyes, into the skulls and eyes of their victims.
She fell into an apple graveyard, let's say. Cores had
plane?
somehow fell onto the ground so perfectly.
Ah, yes, because at the time people would just take a bite of an apple, throw it on the ground,
Get out of here,
say,
apple.
"Can I have another apple?"
They were so expendable at the time until, of course, the Great Apple Famine. A few years
It was caused by nothing more than how careless people ate apples.
Bite, toss. But it was great for the homeless.
Unsustainable for everyone else.
Yeah.
So poor Betsy, poor Betsy.
Betsy, in fact, was the one who invented at the time the hand holding to guide out of the plane. No longer were people having to, blindly find their way.
Sure.
She would wear the light, and then she'd say, "Grab my hand, pass it on. Grab my hand, pass it," and then they'd all.
It was a good system, and it is unfortunate that it went out of style.
In the non-smoking years.
Yeah.
When the smoke cleared, everyone was just like, "Why are we holding each other?"
Yeah. It's like how people think there's a dress code on planes, but who cares? Like that kind of. It's gone out of fashion, is what I'm saying, Cole. So Cole,
Sometimes we
go
sit
for
in
it.
this chair so long, we don't think of these people as human beings, but it's just another piece of our crime-solving puzzle. But I just want to let you know that no matter how long it has been since the case has happened, we care about these people, we care about Betsy, and we're hoping to get this case solved.
And that's what we're going to do here today. We have 3 guests who we're going to bring on who say they know something about,
Somehow connected to the
somehow
case.
connected to the case, although I guess that would make them awfully old. Or maybe they just learned about it.
Yeah.
There's other information.
Relatives of deceased. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Let's go and bring in the first guest. They'll introduce themselves.
Thanks for hitting that applause button, Cole.
We do hit the applause button every time our guests come in. Okay.
Sure. European.
Yes, I am French, so as you know, my great-great-grandmother, she passed away.
Yes. Please state your
Hey,
name.
passed away, that's the show.
Ooh.
Yes.
We wish you were here, Betsy.
She was my great-great-grandmother. My name is Sophia. I am French. As you know, in Europe, in the 1930s, there were many murders.
Yes.
Yes.
And my great-grandmother, as you know, could run in heels anywhere.
See, you keep saying "as you know." I'm not sure we've heard.
Yeah, I don't think we knew that about your
I
grandson.
had this information.
I looked at Cole like maybe he knew it, but he didn't.
Wait a moment. You do research before
Now
podcast.
we researched, but something that is not often kept in historical record is whether someone is capable of running an email. They don't copy that stuff down.
Often left out of those records, yeah.
Well, as you know.
I don't know.
As you know, she invented the handhold,
Correct.
which
We do know that.
we may right now.
Oh, sure. For
She's
the
initiating
listeners,
the hand holding.
she is initializing the hand.
Merci beaucoup.
You're forgiven.
You Americans, you know nothing. You know, you haven't even done research on my great-great-great-grandmother.
Sure. Well, we do know a little bit.
We know what was kept in public documents in the newspapers at the time,
And
which
then-
is woman falls on apple cores, must have been an accident. That was the headline.
And that's what led us to believe that it wasn't an accident.
Exactly.
It was not.
Whoa.
I have reason to believe it was not accident. She was murdered.
Just like we thought.
Our suspicions. Now, what has led you to believe?
Well, in my abundant research, which I did in the library, because everything was written down at the time. Now everything videoed, everything at the time was written down. And I read her diaries. And in her diaries, she wrote about an ice cream truck. Did you find this in your research?
No.
No, but I'd like to know. what
Yeah,
it's
sure.
Let me tell you. She would run to the ice cream truck. Every time she heard sound, she'd run in her high heels.
So she didn't trip, is what you're saying.
As you
I
know.
see what she's saying. We do know that now.
She's
So
a well-
she's not prone to tripping. It would have been an anomaly for her to trip, even in the shoddy circumstances of the cloud of smoke and the apples on the ground.
Jeffrey,
Yes.
merci beaucoup.
Hey, you're welcome.
Don't know what that means.
So that's about it. She was a stable-footed woman.
That's a
What
lot.
other evidence do you need?
I'd say a little bit more.
We'll hope to get that a little bit from our next guest. Thank you so much,
Thank
Sophia.
you so much.
You may have heard some mois over the microphone. That was the typical French sayonara, if you will. Well, Jeffrey, I think we're chipping away at this
This case
a little bit.
Getting to the bottom of it. We have confirmed, without a doubt, that this could not have been an accident.
Could not.
She
In
would
no
not
way
have-
could she have tripped when she was known to not trip a lot.
That's a fact. That's an undisputable fact.
It was written down, as Sophia said. I don't know where she found that, or in the diaries.
Sure, she
The
said.
personal documents, yeah.
I think we only have more to learn from here.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, I guess that's it for me too. Let's
Okay,
go
good.
for
All right, our next guest will introduce themselves
it. Once again.
once again. And go ahead and hit that applause button there. Hey,
Speak up, son.
Huh?
that was a lot right off the bat.
Yes, ma'am. Sir. Okay. Emergency.
Learning French.
Welcome to Past
French or
Away.
something?
Well, Jeffrey, maybe take this one.
Sure, yeah, I'll take this. My dad is like this.
Good man.
Good man, my dad. Yeah, you know all about it. Anyway, so this case, you have something to offer us on this case?
Yeah, first, it's important for your viewers, listeners, whatever, to understand that I have a toothpick in my mouth right now.
We can hear. You do have a toothpick, and then in the other lip, you just are full of chewing tobacco. Okay.
Spit out the toothpick, not the chewing tobacco.
She brought her own. He brought his own Jesus.
Goddamn.
I'm sorry. Let's get back in here, Jeff.
Go ahead and take it from me.
So first fact is you, a couple seconds ago, had a toothpick in your mouth, but would you mind stating your relation to the Betsy murder?
Lundgren.
Betsy Lundgren murder, 1935.
Yeah.
Well, I used to be French. At that point, when I was French, I was also a cop. A detective. Heard of it?
So at the time in 1935, you were French.
Don't you hear how I keep going in and out of an accent?
Well, I'm a little confused.
I mean, you two certainly aren't going to solve any crimes with this lack of initiation and investigation. I don't understand.
I'm sorry, but we have 3 microphones.
We wish we could have a fourth.
You do until I drop this bomb. Am I here for business or what?
You're here for
Please.
business.
I would just like to confirm you were alive in 1935.
This is ridiculous. I don't like your line of questioning, and frankly, I don't like the cut of your jib.
He's questioning your jib.
I'm not here to solve the case of where my jib is. I'm here to ask the...
I was alive, and I was a cop, and I was French.
Great, that's it.
Now, this murder did take place in America, so I'm just wondering your...
Well, because of the plane. It was on a plane, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so.
Was it French airspace, perhaps?
International waters.
I won't pretend to understand all of this.
You never will, son.
Well, I'll try my best.
You got glasses, so I suppose you're some type of liberal or something.
For those of you wondering, Jeffrey just lovingly admired the beautiful hand-knit scarf around my neck. Thank you, Nana Triplett.
You don't really know what's up with his father.
Yeah, Cole, what's up with... I'm sorry.
Okay, what do you have to offer about the Betsy
There we go.
Lundgren?
Okay, yeah, finally. So, at that time, what people don't realize, people treat her like a victim.
Mm-hmm.
She's not a victim. And I've been saying this on all the Reddit boards and whatnot.
The one Reddit board.
I mean, the one internet, and then I also have several Reddit boards.
And she's not a victim. You don't think this was murder?
It was murder, but she's not a victim.
Oh, she deserved it, is what you're saying.
Absolutely.
Can you tell us why?
Well, I mean, it's ridiculous. It's fake news. They're saying she was a flight attendant. She loved to fly. She loved to be in the air, like we all do. But are we all flight attendants?
Jeffrey, I know, has a fear of heights. I don't know if he would love, as you say, to be in the air.
No, it's my worst nightmare.
Right, but we all love. I mean, just go with it.
Okay, I apologize.
So we all love to be in the air. We're not all flight attendants. So then I think that's weird. Why do you need to then monetize your love for the air? Who does that? And I'll tell you why.
Because people are paying for travel across...
This one. I mean, is this a what is this? Is this true crime, or are we just joking around?
This is true crime.
Just trying to make sure, sir, that you have the clearest of headspaces to explain your relation to what could put a lot of people at
There
risk.
is plenty of space up here.
We're pretty positive about that.
Yeah.
I need some respect to be here. You know what I mean? Anyway, there's feathers in what's going on in here. Anyway, so she only had that job so that she could kill. I'm talking kill dead.
Okay.
Good.
The pilot.
That's huge.
And just like the last one, you know why. You already know why.
Brand new information.
So our mics are still on, right?
Yeah. So you're asserting that the flight
I'm covering the
attendant.
mic. I mean, you gotta read a book.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Anyway.
I think you're being insulted, Cole.
I'm sorry.
Well, I will restate that. He does believe that the flight attendant and the pilot were in love. That's.
And now what evidence was made open to you to make that assumption?
The letters, mainly.
Now you have love letters between them? Whoa!
Wow.
That's a lot of letters from a small
Oh
pop.
my
I guess I'll break
Yeah.
the pile in half.
Yeah, that's true. These are a lot of letters, and looking at the handwriting, Cole, we're not experts, but I think we can assume this is her handwriting.
Sophia did leave us with a couple of
Smell it.
confessions.
It smells like smoke, mainly, and
All right, well, thank you so much for coming on Passed Away. I guess we have a lot of reading to do.
Don't ask me back.
So, Cole, is it time for us to take a little ad break?
Yeah, we should probably go through these with a fine comb and play a pre-recorded ad that we have for our podcast.
Yeah, so we're gonna read these letters and we're gonna go ahead and play an ad for you guys.
Okay, can I get a one-word suggestion? Anything at all?
Letters.
Letters, cool. Sponsor this week comes from My Letter, Your Letter.
My Letter, Your Letter is a service that finally begs the question, are you completely satisfied with the alphabet that you have?
Now, when My Letter, Your Letter did a completely unbiased poll to the American people on the streets, 9 out of 10 said they don't like letters the way they are.
No. Most of them said difficult and please stop talking to me. Yeah. So My Letter, Your Letter is special because it gives you the opportunity to go ahead and take those letters you're used to, A, B, C, and replace them with letters that are interesting and fun, like snarl and garbaba.
And the Inye from the Spanish language.
Yeah. We'll trade letters for you. So that's what we have to offer with this product. It's a great service.
They will take any letter you write, you say, make this a fun letter, and they'll take the letters on your letter and add new letters.
Only service that we know of doing this. And
They
that's-
give you one letter for free, and if you aren't satisfied, then, well, don't use the darn product.
All right, we are.
And we're back.
We're back. So we're gonna.
Wow, lot of stuff. I
We've read all
would say
the
we
letters.
can confirm there's a strong relationship going on here
Correct.
with Captain Franks, who flew that plane.
Correct. And I think we're just gonna have to speak to our last guest.
One thing I'd like to say, I don't think Mrs. Franks was probably very happy about that.
No, the pilot's wife with
And a co-pilot on the plane.
and co-pilot.
Let's not jump to conclusions.
No conclusions.
Because we need this third guest. to
Yeah,
come
we
in
do.
and-
So the third guest will go ahead and introduce themselves to you.
Once again. Thanks for coming on past.
So happy to be here.
How are you?
Yes.
Because we're not.
Oh yes, it's a shame. I do like what you're wearing, by the way.
Thank you.
Are you a liberal?
I don't know what keeps my neck warm has anything to do with my
That's wild.
Jeffrey is lovingly admiring both of our scarves. Our third guest is wearing a scarf. Please introduce yourself, guys.
Hello, my name is Oscar Rich. I am the grandson of an ostrich farmer.
That's incredible. I'm gonna
We're
think
very
about that a lot.
happy for you. And we'd like to know, maybe, does that have to do with the case, or is that just your introduction?
Oh, does it? So, in August 14th, 1935,
That's right.
Okay.
A special flight was chartered from France. You know, it was started in England, then France. I used to be French, but we moved over. No, more than you know. So I started in England, then went to France, then back to England, then I went to America. Transporting, an ostrich. Which is hard to do on a small plane. And you know what?
What? What's that?
Ostriches are very mean birds.
Right off the bat, I'm gonna ask you think an ostrich murdered Betsy?
Well, let me tell you.
I'd like to submit a pun real fast. Foul play.
Anyway, as I was saying, ostriches are very resentful for the fact that they cannot fly. And what could Betsy Lundgren do? Fly! Motive!
No, this is airtight, Cole.
I have two questions. One, flight records show no appearance of any ostriches on the plane. And two, we did just find factual evidence of an affair happening on board with the pilot and the co-pilot being the wife and witness to the affair.
All a red herring. I have letters of my own.
We're going to take a quick commercial break to read through all this.
I will tell you what they say. They're letters written by our president at the time. Franklin D. Roosevelt. And the president of France at the time. Yes, Godot. He's still waiting for the delivery of those letters. But yes, they're in cahoots to pass this ostrich.
Cahoots.
Yes. Well, you see,
It's a pun. I'm sorry, I got excited.
yes, in order to win the war. They knew it was coming.
World War II?
Yes,
Okay.
it was coming. It was on the brink of World War II, 1935.
I believe that's the year that Adolf Hitler became Chancellor of Germany. Yeah, I'm right.
I just fact-checked Cole and he is right.
I fact-checked Jeff.
That's fact check. Now, what did these letters from the president say? You said you read them.
Well, I told you they're plotting to win the war.
Okay.
With this ostrich.
How does this have connection to the flight that Betsy was on?
Yeah, because they were transporting the ostrich to America, and she was the flight attendant for that flight.
And so you think the ostrich perhaps tripped her, then stomped apples into her flight.
Yes. Ostriches do that to each other all the time.
A lot of head stomping.
I do see a picture here. There is an ostrich with, instead of eyes, apples. Horrifying.
But yes, my theory is this ostrich was so disgruntled being in the air, it lost its mind and killed poor Betsy Lundgren.
Ostriches aren't meant to fly.
And also, that's true, yes. But also, my grandfather at the time, he was, he cared about his ostriches very much. And so when the ostrich was delivered to America, he called up Franklin D. Roosevelt and asked how that
President Franklin.
and asked how his ostrich was doing. His name is Billy. And they never got the ostrich.
Went missing.
And you know what? Who told the president that was that pilot and his wife.
The pilot and his wife said that.
Yeah, they said the ostrich fell out too. So now I need to know who killed the ostrich? Where's the fifth chair? Let's all stand up and hold each other's hands. Like Betsy would have wanted.
Oh, I get it.
Thank you. I hope I have some help.
Thank you.
Well, this started off as a possible accident. Maybe we were grasping at straws here, Jeff. and
We sure were.
We're grasping at ostriches now, apparently. I'm not quite as much mourning the ostrich as Betsy right now, but I think it's time to
break.
That's the Jeffrey side.
Yeah, that's the side that I make every time we decide that.
It's time to end the show.
Yeah.
And
That's the.
tell you what happened.
There we go.
Start it off, Jeff.
I think it's clear to us and everyone involved that what happened with Betsy on this flight is she was going about her flight like normal. She had her headlight on, and she was prepared to do the best job that she could, right, through the smoke.
Yes, from first-hand accounts, people were saying that she had already told them to grab each other's hands.
That's accurate. And something to know is that they had that relationship. We can confirm there was a relationship with the pilot and the flight attendant and the co-pilot. It was a love triangle.
Yeah.
Sure. So it's sort
Keep
of.
going.
Anyway, and there was an ostrich involved somehow. That we know, Cole.
And now we know why the ostrich story has not come forward earlier, because it was a secret government
Operation to pre-win World War II. So, my theory, and this is just a theory, is that the ostrich was set loose by the co-pilot, the very bitter, jealous co-pilot, to stomp our kind flight attendant, who probably tried to grab its feather in the confusion, and then was met with a swift stomping.
and her head then fell onto the apple graveyard below her, cracking in her skull. Well, I guess we did it, folks.
We did it.
We hope all living relatives of Betsy can now sleep soundly, knowing that an ostrich released by her lover's wife was set loose to murder.
Yeah, it seems like everyone involved in this case is also long dead, so no convictions will be made out. But you can do your part by, killing an ostrich.
Cool, that's our show.
That's our show.